You tell me when it happens.
Yeah, right now.
Hi, everybody. Welcome to the Paint Mixer in Studio Edition. Thank you for joining us. I would like to say thank you for supporting the Paint Mixer and being with us today and letting me into your home during this time. As you can see, we're in the studio today and we will be painting the bunny. So we have a lot of different things to go over. If you guys have any questions, please do so, ask them in the comment section. Also, if you just want to say hi, I'd love to see who's here, and I'm just excited to be with you. I have my daughter in the studio with me, so she'll be hopping around for the rest of this duration, but let's get going with a few things. So before we start, let's make sure that we have our protective gear. Hopefully you have either an apron or old t-shirt or just some clothes on that you really don't mind getting dirty. And then always let's roll up our sleeves. We're working with acrylic paint. So just so you know, acrylic paint is very forgiving. And if it gets on your clothing and you catch it while it's wet, you can get it out with some soap and water. But if it dries, you're going to be very artsy and you'll look like one of the many artists in this town. So please don't worry about that. And also, I want to just talk about your area. So if you guys have a kit, you have added some of your, you'll probably have some paper, and the paper is to cover your area. The other thing you have is a palette, whether your palette is for this or not. You can use this, it's like a t-shirt board. And some of you will have all of these colors. So these are our main colors today. We have bright red, chrome yellow, phthalo blue and green, white and black. For those of you that have our standard kit, you'll have these little cups. And for those that have the deluxe kit, you'll have some of these tubes. So we've given you a couple of those. If you have the tubes, just know that bright red is crimson red, chrome yellow is lemon yellow, phthalo blue is ultramarine blue, phthalo green is viridian, and then white and black. So we also have lots of different brushes. So deluxe brushes look like these. If you have a newer edition, you have these. Or if you have one of our earlier, you have our good old vintage brushes. So for our smaller canvas today, you'll be using two brushes. One is our mama brush, and one is our baby brush. What we've done is made it as simple as we can. We'll be working on a smaller canvas. So most of you probably have an 8x10 at home. For clarity's sake, and so you guys can see well, I'll be using our 16x20 just so you can see the details better. So once we have our paints all ready, we have our brushes. Couple things. Brushes are happier in water. So throughout the time, just keep your brushes in your water. If you need to dry them off, you have some paper towels, and the paper towels will help get some of that extra paint off, and it will help clean your brushes in between steps. And the thing we don't want to do is leave our brushes out with lots of paint on them, because then it dries and then it's not so excellent. Oh, I'm here all day, just wait. So are we ready to paint? I bet you are. So I have easels in my studio. This is what I'll be using, but if you don't have an easel, with 8x10, you can just lay it down on the table. Or if you have a couple soda cans at your house, you can lean them against it, and that will work as an easel as well. All right, so today we are working on our Easter bunny. And as you can see on each side of me, we have a couple options. And the first thing you want to think about is, what is your background going to be? So my daughter and I were practicing earlier, and she's in the studio with me. She'll be working alongside me. I tried another little one on a smaller one. So as you can see, backgrounds can change, and there's different ways to make it. So just think about, what kind of background do you want? Do you want to have several colors on it? Do you want to have some designs like an Easter egg? So just think about that for a second. Couple things, if you want to have some music in between, you can play some music at your house. And if you need anything, just please let me know, and I will answer your chats in between steps. So I think we are ready to paint. And I was just wondering, what's the Easter Bunny's favorite sport? Basketball. All right, so let's go. Let's hop to it. And we're gonna start with, if you have a larger canvas, you might want to use your bigger brush, but for everyone else, I want you to grab your mama brush. And we're gonna start with our paints. So think about what background you'd like. Another thing, as you're painting, don't forget your edges. This helps create a really nice frame. So when you hang it up tonight, you can look at it and just be so proud of your painting. So I'm gonna take a little blue and a little red to create a purple lavender color for my background on this one. So just to keep it different, and I'm gonna do long horizontal stripe across the entire canvas. Now, if your paint isn't grabbing onto, it feels like you can't really get good coverage, just add a little water, and it always helps the paint go along smoother. Once again, with acrylic, it's just really easy paint, and this is a great way to just help the paint move along the surface. So just take your time, get your colors, get your ideas going. If you have some music, play some music. I have terrible but very funny jokes. I'll keep you entertained in between. And I'm gonna check on some chats. Oh, I see Coco and Amy. Hi. Hi, Carter. Hi, Nick and Matt Brown. Hi, Kim. Good to see all of you guys. Thanks for being here with us. We are learning as we do this. So I'm sure everybody is pivoting in different ways and learning how to move through this very uncertain time. But it's been really incredible here in Park City to see, and in Salt Lake, to see what everyone's doing and how everybody's supporting one another. So we feel really lucky to have all of you and to be in this great space with you. So I'm still moving along, and I'm just gonna flip, get some more color going. And today in Park City, it's a little overcast. It was really nice this morning, and we're getting ready for possibly some lake effect snow, which I'm sure everybody's looking forward to right now. And we're also on Main Street, and it's pretty quiet, but it's been really fun to see a lot of people biking by and walking together and just using our incredible trail system that's all throughout this area. We're really fortunate. So thank you to all the locals that keep those going and keep us feeling very lucky to be here. So I'm still going along, filling this up. If I'm going too fast, just let me know at any time. I can always slow down. It's hard not to see you, so I'm just going with gut and with my daughter's pace. So she'll look at me every once in a while and tell me if I'm going too fast or if I'm going too slow. So what's the Easter Bunny's favorite dance move? The bunny hop. So funny. My daughter's looking at me just very, I think it might be a disgusted look, but that's okay. She knew what she was getting into. All right, so we keep adding this. If you guys have kitty drinks or mommy drinks or anything, just remember to always put your paintbrushes into the right cup. As we always say, those creative juices sometimes get mixed up with this paint. And I'm getting closer to finishing my backgrounds. Remember those long strokes, don't forget your edges. And we're almost through. And then the next, just the color. But if you want to add some of some of those Easter egg details. There's, like we did for our pink Easter rabbit, see that we just did some zigzags and some dots. If you do little dots and circles, I'll show you a trick with circles while you're waiting. So the secret to circles on any type of painting is, this would be good with your mama brush or your baby brush, but a lot of times when we're doing circles, we draw a circle and then we've committed and it's too much. So the next thing you want to do is you always want to start from the center of your circle and move out. And then you can control the size of your circle. So you can make it bigger, but if you outline it first, then you're always trying to fix it. So if you add some of those circles, that's one of the ways to do it. And then you can add zigzags. You know, just think of what you've done on Easter eggs in the past. You can add some lines. You can add little squigglies. So just think of some designs if you want to add that. If not, you can just leave your backdrop plain. So I'm going to just finish filling in this. What kind of rabbit tells jokes? A funny bunny. Oh, that one's pretty bad, right? You can laugh, honey. We need some noise in the studio. So here we are. I'm just getting the edges of my painting. And then if I wanted to, I'll just show you, like if I wanted to add some of those little details of, you know, maybe I want a couple white little dots, you know, I'll just go in and add them. And my canvas is still a little wet. So if you're adding details to your backgrounds, you're gonna wanna let it dry. And whether you have a hair dryer or you just want to do it the way that we do it in the studio, you just turn on some music, you dance around, and you fan your artwork. So that will help get it dry. So if people could comment when they have finished their backgrounds, that would be great. And then I'll know what we can do for the next step, because what we're gonna do while we let these dry is practice the bunny, because that's kind of like the main character and it's gonna be center stage on this. So we don't wanna mess around with that. So the best thing to do is, if you have one of our kits, we have butcher paper, which you can practice on butcher paper. If you don't have one of our kits, you can use some paper at home and just have that on standby so that you can practice the bunny. So then when we commit it to the canvas, we feel more confident about it, right? So we're gonna give this about 5 more minutes to get our backgrounds and get some of those cool little designs and anything else you wanna add. And what I'm also thinking is, you know, always remember, you can always go over things. That's the beauty of acrylic paint. So I can always come back and lighten my color, add different colors. You know, I have kind of a cool little bluish ombre thing going. So it just doesn't, it can keep changing. So don't worry. And then also remember, this is our background. So a lot of times we get really focused on the background because it feels really good just to get all that paint out. But we don't need to do so much in the background because we're going to be adding to it on the foreground. So we want to give it enough time to dry so that we have a good palette for us to work on. So I'm going to put mine aside for a moment. I'm going to check on Ivy. Ivy, do you want to show your backgrounds? No, she's like, no way, mother. I'm just adding. Ivy, you ready for another joke? Oh, I can tell she is. Let's see. Why was Ivy sad after the Easter egg hunt because of egg beater. So funny. All right, so we're working on this. And we would love for you guys to share as you create. We have our Facebook page, which is at the Paint Mixer. We have our Instagram page, which is at _Paint Mixer. And our hashtag is always Paint Local. So we love that we have so many people painting local with us right now and across the country. It's been really exciting to see so much interest and excitement about taking this at home. We did a really neat private party last night through Zoom, and it was great just to see everybody painting together. I know we're living a different way right now, so when we can all get together and create, I'm a big believer in creativity and play and how it can help us through all these challenging times. So thank you again for being here and taking some time with us. I thank you, Amy. You're really nice. So now what I also want to talk about is when we're going through this, just know that I'm taking you step by step. So when we're working on the bunny rabbits, we are going to work together through it. And I know it gets a little nerve-wracking when we're working with animals or anything that has a little more structure to it. So some secret tips to this is that you have to just remember that we're doing it in shapes. And we're going to just start with basic shapes and it's going to grow. Now, knowing all this, we are all different. We are unique and beautiful little snowflakes in the field of life. So my painting is going to look very different from your painting. Your painting is going to look different from mine. So just know that's the whole point. That's the beauty of it. Like if you look at our first little thing this morning when we were practicing, look at Ivy's and mine. And every time I paint, it's always different. So just know that we're all going to have a different outcome and they're going to be great. So I can't wait to see them. And I see that my cute little sister-in-law is on. So hi, Jan. Good to see you. And we will probably start in, I'm going to give a couple more minutes. Is that okay for everybody? Just let me know in the comment section. And then I'll start teaching you how to draw a bunny rabbit. All right. So speaking of bunny rabbits, what happens if you get married on Easter? You live happily ever after. How can you, I have some great advice. Can you please show the colors? Let's see. Let me see. Matt, can you see that comment? Because mine's of.
Could you please list the main colors?
Okay, so the main colors that I have right now are the chrome red, or I'm sorry, bright red, chrome yellow, phthalo green, phthalo blue, black, and white. So really any of those, any form of red, yellow, green, blue, white, and black will work great for this painting. And any color really. We just wanted to create all of our paintings that we're sending out and to go with a simple palette of 6 just to make it easier so that everyone can access painting by just mixing colors. With a really simple palette, you can do incredible things. And so don't be afraid of mixing the colors. If you have more colors, please feel free to use them. You do not have to stay with our limited palette, and you can explore. So whatever you have is going to work great. And for my background, as you can see, we have a green background. We have a blue background. Ivy did a rainbow background. We have a pink background, and I just did one with blues and purples. So it's really any type of background that you want. So when we're moving on to this next phase, I'm going to help with your Easter preparations. And a way to make this go faster is if we use the express lane. Oh, so good. So now we're going to get ready for a little exercise, and that is learning how to draw a bunny. So little did you know that you would be stuck with my bad jokes throughout this. But if you just take a piece of paper, so right now I just have a square piece of paper, and I'm going to use, so if you take your baby brush. Some of you have baby brushes. And I'm going to probably use a darker color, probably a little bit of yellow, because I want you guys to be able to see this. So when we're drawing a bunny, the first thing we're going to do is we're going to create the bottom part of our bunny. So this is like an oval. So I just want you to think of it just a simple oval, okay? That will be our first step. So we're just doing this to practice because probably most of your backgrounds need to dry. So just let those sit aside while we practice this painting, okay? Now, we're gonna come up and I wanna make a heart shape on top of my oval. So it's coming into it. And I'm not gonna dip as far down, but that's my little heart shape, okay? So we have an oval for our first step, a little heart as our second step. Now we're gonna add some ears. So we're gonna come up on the side of our hearts and create our ear. So that's one side. And don't worry, remember, this is gonna be our practice ground. So it's always good to have an outline. When we take it to the canvas, we're gonna use white with a little bit of yellow so we can outline it first, and then we'll fill it in with all the details. So our next little one is over there. All right, so there you go. It looks like a bunny, right? Now, I'll probably come in and just give it some detail, just for markers. What's gonna happen is when we paint, we're gonna paint over all the details, but at least we have a good indication of how to start. So what we're gonna do with our eyes, they're gonna be on the side, and you wanna think of these like discs, like on a side disc, not a round circle. And just like we did with circles, you always wanna start in the center and work out. So remember, just a little outline, and then I'm gonna come down and add, it's a triangle that's upside down for our nose. And then I'm gonna add my little mouth that will come down, and that's really the basic shape of our bunny, okay? So this is doing great. You guys look, I'm assuming you all look amazing, and your paintings are unbelievable, or they're excellent. So another little detail that will happen is we're gonna have the inside of our ears that will eventually paint that pinkish color like up here on mine. And then we'll come in and we'll go over all this. Now this is a great time, you know, look at your painting, and mine's still a little wet, so this is a great time for me just to keep practicing off to the side on my paper. So when we go on to our painting, we're gonna make our rabbit a whitish gray. And a way to do that is to add white with a little teeny bit of black. The thing about black is that once we mix it in, it really takes over the color. So we wanna do it in little increments until we get our right color. The other thing is, it's nature. So when you look outside and you look in the sky, it's never just one color of blue, or the colors aren't just one. If you have any pets at home, their fur is many colors. If you look at your hair, there's not just one color. So just remember that we don't want to give it one uniform. We want to have a little bit of variation. So when I'm doing that, I'm going to take a little bit of white, more white than black, and I'll come into my painting and I'm just going to start adding it in and kind of think of it like hair. Well, not like hair. It is hair. It is a hair. Like H8, oh, too much. Okay, so we're gonna keep going. Oh, my daughter. Okay, and then, so see how we just bring that into our painting. Now, when we add this on to our painting, we'll be able to go over the edges that we've maybe used our yellow or white. And even if I go over my nose, I'll be able to come back in and add more details to it. Hey, Ivy, what do you call a rabbit with fleas? Bugs Bunny. This is a problem when you can't have music. I haven't done YouTube like this, so we don't know if we add music, if it's going to mess up with the other streaming system. So you're just stuck with really bad jokes. I apologize. But my daughter's laughing, so they have to be a little funny, right? Yes, Nina, this will be available. It will be saved on our YouTube channel with all of our other paintings. So if you have to go, or if I'm ever going too fast, just know you can pause it, and we will have it on our YouTube channel. So a lot of people will be joining tomorrow to paint on Easter. So please don't worry. If you have to go, have a really great day and have a happy Easter. And for those of you that are staying, let me know if your paintings are dry, your backgrounds are dry, and then we'll take this to the big leagues. We're going to move from the paper and on to the big leagues. So I can't read. I see a joke up here. I can't read it. What do you call a mischievous egg? Maddie, what does it say? From your sister.
A practical yoker.
Oh, a practical yoker. Good one, Jar. That is good. You guys can definitely add some jokes. That's a good one. You want to know how I stay, as a bunny, I stay in such great shape? I exercise. So good. All right, I see we're getting to the dry. Some people are saying just not yet. And we're getting there, so I'm just going to show you a little bit more. Now, for those of you that have been practicing on here, we're going to start to bring this idea onto our painting. So, I have my background. I can see some spots are a little wet, but that's okay. What I'm going to do is I am going to take, so most of you will be using your baby brush. I'm just using a little bit bigger brush just because I have a bigger canvas. So I'm going to take my white. I'm going to use a little bit of yellow, so hopefully you can see. And we're recreating this idea that we started on our paper, okay? So we're coming down, and remember, you can always start a little smaller and then add to it. So I'm going to look at this and kind of get it in my center. It looks about centered. So there's my oval. First step. Woohoo! Just commit. Don't be afraid. As Bob Ross would say, happy accidents. And so now we're going to add that heart. So the heart on top, not that deep. So now we have that, and I'm just looking at it from this side so I can kind of figure out where I go. All right, so, I mean, look at that. Amazing. I mean, that's a bunny if I've ever seen one. So now we're gonna come on to the ears. Same thing, you're gonna kind of come off of this area of the heart, and we're gonna create our ears as big as you want. Sorry, just making sure you guys can see it all. All right, so there's the first little step of my bunny. I'm probably gonna come in, and when I'm painting this, if I don't like something along the way, I'm just gonna adjust. And this is the great thing about painting. And really what we're going through right now is our little pivots and adjustments. So if you don't like something, just know you can always paint over it. Acrylic paint allows for you to have that chance to make a little error and then create from it. And sometimes some of my biggest mistakes I learn the most from, and I actually learn something new about my painting. So it's pretty cool. Now I'm gonna come in, I'm gonna start adding those oval eyes just to give myself an indicator of where everything might be. This just doesn't have to be permanent, but I'm just kind of getting myself ready for where my cute little nose is gonna be. Take either your mama brush or your baby brush, whatever one feels good to you. And this is where we're gonna start taking that white with a teeny little bit of black. And we're gonna start creating our gray. So as you can see from my palette, I'm gonna take just a little bit of this black and I might put it off to the side, and then I'm gonna take a scoop, like use your paintbrush as a little shovel to get it to that color that you want off to the side. And like I said, you don't have to make it all one color. You want it to have variance. So very technical term, extremely, just kidding. So variants are different colors. So I'm just lining up my ears just to give myself an indicator. And then what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna just start adding that gray. And I'm gonna do what is like cross, almost like X's, just to give it the hair. You can go up, you can go down. The great thing, on our backgrounds, we're going side to side, giving it that nice horizontal look. But now we want to give it texture. So really easy way to create texture is by doing little different movements with your brush. So whether it's X's, whether it's just coming out, any way that you do it, have fun with it. Brushes are meant to take different sizes, and when you do this, it helps you create different variants. It helps give it a little more life than just a flat brush going up and down. And just remember, this is kind of the background of our bunny too. So we're gonna come back into this and get more detail, but we just want to have a really nice background to get us started. So we keep adding that gray. Hey, Ivy, do you want to know what happened this morning? I woke up and I was a little sad. You want to know why? I was having a bad hair day. Oh, man. All right, so I'm going to go up into my ears. Remember, if your paint isn't spraying the way you want to, just keep adding more color. And don't worry, if you get paint and where your pink will go, like I said, we're just gonna keep layering until we get a nice base for our bunny. And then we're gonna come in. So you kind of add details at the very end. That's a great thing with acrylics as well, is that you can always come back in and give it more depth and style with details, with your baby brushes and different brushes. How are you doing, Ivy? Do you need another joke? Hey, Ivy, guess what? I was trying to write an email today, but it went really slow. You want to know why? I had to go by hair mail. Now that you're out of school, it's almost like you were expelled. Oh, man. They're going to just keep coming. Watch out. All right, so let me know how everyone's doing with their bunnies. And if they have a good kind of beginning, we'll let this dry a little. So as you can see, mine's just like a gray bunny blob right now. So what I'm going to start doing is I'm going to come in with my pink. So, hey, Ivy, how do you make pink? That's right. Very good. You add a little yellow. Oh, I'm just kidding. A little white with red. And then if you want it to have a little peachy look, you can add a little yellow. So I'm going to come into my bunny ears and start adding with my mama brush or my baby brush, whichever one feels best for you. Start adding the color that I want. So these are cute little baby bunny ears. Give it a little pink. And, you know, it's okay if you pull in some of the grays if it's still wet, because it just gives it that depth. So once again, it's just adding that cool variant that you see naturally in nature. So I might add a little yellow to my pink and make it a little peachy. Thanks, Diane. At least someone likes my jokes. My daughter's not very impressed by them right now, but I'm trying. All right, so we have, and look, it's pink, like Pink Park City. Ooh, let's see, Coco. Ivy, can you see what Coco said in the comments?
Can we do a droppy ear?
Yes, Coco, please do a droppy ear. You do not have to have perk ears. You can add any type of ear that you want. So please, if you want a bigger ear, you know, I might come into mine and do you want me to show you how to do a droppy ear, Coco, or are you good? Because I can demonstrate one if you need it. Remember, that's what I love about this. But one of the reasons I love, yes, we can definitely slow down, Roseanne. One of the things I love about the paint mixer and just working here is that every day that we do this, the paintings are so different. And that's what I love is when we get done with this, all of our paintings will be profoundly different from one another. And, you know, even though we're working on the same steps together, we're all creating something that's uniquely us. So that's a great thing. So I'm just going to keep playing around, adding the fur, and just keep taking your time. I'm going to slow down a little bit. I'm going to check on Ivy's painting. I'll be right back. So as I'm letting it dry, I can sit here and just wave it and get some music on, you know what a bunny's favorite music is, Ivy? Hip hop. So we're gonna let it dry, take your time, no rush. And when we're thinking about this, you can start looking at how you want to go into the next phase of this. So I'm kind of looking at where my eyes might go, where I'm going to put the details. But right now we have a really good base. So we'll come back into this one when everyone's ready. And this is a good time, you know, to go back to your little practice drawing and start practicing some of the details that we'll bring in. The eyes, and I'll take you through each step of that, but please remember, always use your paper or always have a little sketchbook nearby. It just helps because the first time through, even when I'm doing this, I will always come in early and do the painting because it just changes, or I'll notice something that I could have done better. And every iteration is very different. So just always allow yourself to practice. Practice always helps the whole system when you're painting. It just makes you feel more confident when you get on canvas. You know, we got here this morning, we had a really big issue. We had to call a exterminator. Too many eggs everywhere. True. All right, so now some other things. If anybody has a particular painting they want us want to see, we're going to start doing these live streaming YouTubes every week. So if there's one that you see in our gallery, or if you have a request that you don't see anytime. So we're really excited. I see that Roseanne is ready. So we're going to start jumping into the details of our bunny. All right, so we started to add the pink, right? So now we're going to bring that same color that we had in the nose. We're going to bring it down to our nose. So same thing, upside down triangle. And it doesn't have to be perfect. Have soft lines. It's not like a really razor-edged thing. So just keep it nice and soft, like a little bunny rabbit. And I might bring some of that color up into my ears again. And then, okay, this is when things get real. We're going to take that baby brush and we're going to start adding some of those details. So I'm going to take my black. I might add a little teeny bit of white just to get a deep gray, but you can also just go straight black. We'll come back with different variants. So I'm going to try to get as close as I can so you can see this. So remember, the eyes were discs. They weren't circles. We don't want them to be these big round things. We want them to be on their side and just discs. So I'm going to come over here and create my thing, working from the center. And I might look at it, see if I like how big they are. A good thing to always do when painting and in life is to get perspective. So I like to sometimes step away from my painting and see it and get a little bit of perspective and then bring it back in. When we're working so closely on the details, sometimes we can't see the bigger picture. And so it's really always good. And another good thing to do is take a picture with your camera and then you can see it from that angle. It's always really nice. You know, that's why when you go to galleries, there's distance between you and the artwork. So you can see and appreciate what it's supposed to be from afar. So perspective, all right? Now, I'm gonna take that black and I'm gonna just start adding some of the little things like coming into my ears. I might wanna add a little detail here. And if I don't like some of these lines, I'm gonna come back to them later, but right now we're just kind of adding a little detail to places. So I might come on the edges of my ears. Remember, if it's not really spreading well, we're gonna just add a little water. And come to our thing. So I'm just, you know, it's like an outline. And I'm gonna come under my nose a little. And then make that little bunny line, right? I'm gonna probably come out to the side a little. You know, you can imitate some fur with a couple jagged lines, you know, just outlining. And remember, like if we don't like some of these things, we can always come back over it. So I'm just coming in and adding those details wherever I can. Good job, everybody. You're doing most excellent. Okay, then I might add some up here. I'm gonna probably add my cute little eyelashes if you want eyelashes. And if you don't want eyelashes, you don't need them. And then looking at this, I'm gonna start coming back in with some of my whites eventually. So I'm just giving some detail to my bunny. Now, with your baby or your mama, I'm going to bring some of that gray back and just do some strokes down the front of my bridge. And then like I just went too white. So when I'm gonna come in, I'm gonna go back in and just bring some more gray into it. So see how easy that was? Just sometimes we make some decisions and like, that didn't work out. So we come back in. I might add like a little bridge to the face, little color. And then I'm gonna start bringing some whites. Might want to add it, under the nose a little. Oops. Oopsie. There's an example of an oops. But that just gave it a little more tone that I didn't even know it really needed. So I might come back and just add a little more white under that. Add it to my gray and then bring that same kind of color down the bridge, my nose. I think I'm gonna also take some of my white and just bring it up into outlining my ears. So there's our little bunny. How's everyone doing? Any questions about their bunny? Do you need advice about life? Do you need more jokes? Oh, my daughter, yeah, she just said, you know what an Easter egg's most least favorite day of the week is? Friday. All right, so I just keep kind of playing, but at some point, I have to just let it be what it is, okay? So I see that I'm starting to add too much white, so I'm gonna come in, add more. Let's see, what else do I need? I feel like oops. Alrighty, I'm gonna add some white. And then got some pink down there, but that's okay. We'll cover that up a little. All right, and then there's a great way to get that cute little sparkle in eyes when you're creating. So we have our cute little bunnies. Good job, everybody. Just adding little details where I want them. And then if you want to get that little sparkle in the eyes of your rabbit, the way that we do this is we take the wooden end of your brush. And this is also a great technique if you're ever making stars in the sky, or if you love to do mandalas using rocks and stuff. These are great tools to create that. So I'm going to go into my little Easter bunny's eyes and just add that little bit of white. Look at that. Wow. How's everyone doing with timing? I just want to check in, see if any needs anything. You want to know how an Easter bunny makes his fur look so nice? He uses hairspray. All right, so we have our cute little bunny. We have our cute fur. There it is. Thank you, T and Quinny. Thank you so much for liking my humor. You too, Super Hads and Coco. I see you guys out there. So now the most important thing when we get towards the end of any painting is your signature. So gallery standard is that you can pick any color you want and you use your baby brush and you put it in the lower right-hand corner of your canvas. And that's what makes it your masterpiece. So if anyone has any questions, please let me know. We're wishing you guys a very happy Easter. I'll show you a couple more. Ivy, can I show them? Here's my daughters. Everyone's is so different. Here's the green and the pink. And please remember to post your images if you can. I'd love to see them. Some of you know me, so you can text them too. But once again, our handles we have Facebook and we have Instagram. Facebook is just the paint mixer, and Instagram is the hashtag paint mixer, the _ paint mixer. And then our hashtag is always paint local. We are very lucky to have a supportive system, and I'm really grateful for all my friends out there, all of our guests, all of the people that really make creativity possible. I hope you're all safe. You're staying home with loved ones and taking care of each other and enjoying your time together. And most of all, thank you. Happy Easter to everyone. And just remember that we are here if you need anything, and you're always welcome to give requests. We want to know what you'd like to paint. We want to know if you have any questions, and we want to know if you want anything in particular from us. So from the Paint Mixer team to you guys at home, thank you so much. Have an excellent Easter.